nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
What's up? Shout out to all Daft Punks
in the building.
That's right.
Back one more again.
Back one more time, they might say. One more time.
So,
how you doing? It's been a couple weeks since we've chatted. So I think we have a lot of things to chat about. We're gonna be doing a kind of a solo cast here today, just to kind of talk about our last couple weekends individually, and just talk some music and some things that we're enjoying right now, music wise, life wise, all that fun stuff. But before we get into it, we just want to say, if you guys aren't on DMS yet and you would like to check out DMS, you can use the promo code Drew and Fuse Show, and that will get you 30% off your first month at DMS. Once again, you can use the promo code Drew and Fuse Show at the checkout, and that'll get you 30% off your first month. Also, if you're in the market for a photo booth, we have an affiliate link that we post in the description of the YouTube that you can check out, and that'll be for the photo booth supply, the salsa booth, the chips and guac booth, whichever one you are interested in. It won't help you out.
You get a free deal. Yeah, you get a free Drew and Fuse Show shirt. Your choice of any of the merch that actually no one else has. So
yeah, limited AF right here.
Yeah, limited AF.
So yeah, check those things out. Also, as always, we are not sponsored by Liquid Death still. But we are drinking it and we are enjoying it and we are murdering our thirst, as they say. So cheers. Happy Drew and Fuse Show Day. So let's see. The 2 weeks ago, you or not this past weekend, but the weekend before, you were doing some weddings. You had a couple events. You want to get started and kind of tell us about yours?
I had 2 weddings. Let's go back and forth. I'll start with one of mine. My first one was a Friday night, and this was a reschedule, which how I still have these fucking reschedules. It's driving me crazy. But this was a 3-time reschedule, and they have a lot of family that was in Canada, and Canada, at the time just sucked. They had everything was locked down. So kind of what it was, and I was playing after a band. I was doing the hour and a half after party, which was clutch. And holy cow, the band was dope. The band killed it. They did rock, they did the new pop. It actually sounded pretty good. So I was kind of in just this other room just outside, so I was listening to them, and they were doing DJ style blends, and I knew the keyboardist, homie of mine.
Cool. They weren't up there playing like Toad the Wet Sprocket. You know what I mean, though? It's like, bro, it's not the 90s anymore. Nobody wants to hear that shit.
No, you know what nobody wants to hear is play that funky white boy. Play that funky music into Brick House. No more. Stop it. No band do I need to see that shit going on. Into Love Shack. Just stop. Just stop. It's
Tin
so
Roof.
Bad.
Rusted.
But they did some Blink, some Killers. I mean, they burned me a little bit, but only because not that I needed those songs at all, but burned me in that was the request list that the bride gave me. It was almost all the songs they played. So I was like, all right, well, that's out the window.
Just play them again. Fuck it.
No, I'm going to do something totally different. And big songs for me, we're talking music. Big songs for me were, it was mostly house. It was the sing along, like we always keep saying, that 2010 to 2015, up tempo pop was just killing it. It was dope. End of the night, last song of the night, Taylor Swift love story just blew the whole place off the roof. It was big. So any of
Swift.
that, dude, even Big House like Shouse and Million Voices and all the Zed records, um, Titanium, any of
Yeah.
that was good. The hip hop kind of did whatever. I actually did video. I had my Toad booth and I played video in front of it, so went by
Nice.
really fast. It was easy. So that was my first night. Hour
Were
and a half.
people eating up the video?
Oh yeah, dude. It was just like everyone would be dancing because I had the um Stereotubes. I had the Stereotubes and then the booth. And so the
Mhm.
tubes are going crazy. They had glow sticks and I kind of had like a similar pattern going on at points to the glow stick. So it looked dope in there. And every now and then, I just think it was overload because we also had the salsa booth over in the corner.
Yeah.
And so lots of people were over there and people would just be like every now and then go, "Oh shit, did you see this guy's TV is going too?" So it
Yeah.
was information overload, but super fun crowd, and they were hyped on everything. And that salsa booth, I mean, you guys don't have a photo booth. I will not bring a photo booth attendant. It took me 10 minutes to set up. I made a couple extra $100 on it. I just threw it up in the corner. It was amazing. It's the people loved it the whole night. So highly recommend that. And we got that code in there. A little
Yep,
plug.
that's right. You can drop below, and if you're in the market for that photo booth, and check it out.
And how was your Friday?
My Friday was good that week. I was just at the bar on Friday. Let's see, there was no Reds game in town, and we're right there by the Reds Stadium, and we still had a pretty good night. It was really, 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 really hot and humid, which we had like a little hot streak here that week where it was just overly humid, and
The
but people
Reds
still
hot
came out.
streak or just
Not a red hot streak, and nope, there's no big red smoky for you either. So, if
I need
anybody
that
doesn't
big
know what
red
that is,
smoky.
that's a hot dog they sell at the Reds ballpark, the big red smoky. So,
I love being a hot smoky.
yeah, Smokey the Bear. So, yeah, so I was just at the bar. I didn't drink anything because I had the wedding the next day. So I'll jump into that part of the wedding. The wedding was in
Real
Columbus.
quick, I got it. Just big song of the night. We're talking music.
Oh,
We're
at let's
fishbowl. Just something
Fishbowl.
that stuck out that's maybe a little different.
I don't know. I there isn't anything off the top of my head that's like really coming that stuck out.
What's
I'm
the
gonna
new
look at
big for this year that's working?
the new big for this year. I played that Purple Disco Machine remix of About Damn Time, and I feel like people were kind of into that. I played that like earlier in the night, and I think we had like a couple like pride things going on in the city, and I was playing like oddly enough, I was playing like a lot of house kind of earlier in the night that night, and it was just working. Like One Kiss.
Did you have any guest? You always have that guest that first hour.
Oh, we
group.
stopped doing that when the red season started back up. So we
Oh,
stopped
gotcha.
doing that there. Yeah. But we're gonna start that back up. Probably once it gets cold here in the winter, and to get people back in there early, we'll probably start that back up again.
There's that track with Megan Thee Stallion and Dua Lipa with the sweetest pie.
The
Do you
sweetest
play
pie.
that?
I haven't been playing it. No,
I
I
don't.
haven't been
I
playing it.
want it to be good. I just don't play it, and so I don't know. The
I
video's so
reckon-
fucking weird. I mean, I know you do videos there, but the videos, it's really weird. I think it would do well for that, maybe early.
Yeah. Let's see. What was the date? Let's see. We're talking, this is the 20th. Let's see here. I'm trying to pull it up because I
It's like
know once I pull up my history here, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, it was blah, blah, blah.
that was
Oh,
the
it's
10th.
Yeah, that was the 10th. Why is that not showing up? Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry. 10th. Okay, yeah. That night, They had a private party in there when I got there. So another guy was actually Steve the Greek. He's the other DJ that plays there a lot. He was actually playing before me, and so I kind of came in, and I started at 9. And I go from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. And he already kind of had it going in there, so I had to play like 5 hours of like keep it going kind of music. Let's see some things that kind of stuck out. Let's see. I'm going through my playlist. I played Mike Posner, Cooler Than Me, and that did okay.
There was an old bootleg that used the. No, actually, it was something else. It was Latch that used the drop for Mike Posner.
Yeah, that Benny C made that Frankenstein.
Yes. Oh, I love that Frankenstein.
Yeah.
That's why I think I stopped playing it, because I like that drop better on Latch.
I made an edit of Hillary Duff Come Clean that just went in right to the chorus, and I thought it was going to hit because I played it between Unwritten and Bleeding Love, but it really didn't hit that hard for me. So I know that's one we've talked about with Digital Dave or Alex Nepa, or somebody was saying that the Hillary Duff was.
And the other two hit though? Bleeding Love?
The other two crush for me. Bleeding Love. Scooter has this bootleg that he made of Bleeding Love that I play.
I asked him to make that.
Yeah.
Well, I just asked him to make something, and then he put that together. That was all him, but I was like, hey, dude, Bleeding Love. That was a major sing-along back in the days.
Yeah. It's major sing-along for me now still. I'm just kind of thumbing through my history here. I play when I kind of get down into like the poppy stuff there, like the low BPM poppy stuff, which some guys might have it like higher BPM pop, because I usually just double time it. But like I'll play like Locked Out of Heaven, but I have that like TikTok Adele edit that I play. Then I'll play like, I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Speaking of biggest song at that wedding, major sleeper, I think a lot of DJs overlook it, but the Adele, really which song am I thinking of, Fuse?
Hello?
No. Rolling in the Deep.
Rolling in the Deep.
So Rolling in the Deep has been fucking huge for me, and I got a Danny Diggs remix of it with versus Takeover Control. Dude.
Oh.
That might be those two when the drop comes on, because everyone's singing along, right? And I cut it out and everybody's going crazy, and then the drop for Takeover Control comes on and people just lose their mind. So that is a big sleeper right now. I think if you guys could find that.
You know what song I played, which I haven't played in forever, that night too, that actually worked, and I just haven't been like on a big Eminem kick, is I played Without Me by Eminem, and
I played it that night too.
It worked, and there for a while, the only thing that did work by Eminem was like Smack That and Lose Yourself, and everything else I pretty much wouldn't touch. But I played that, and people were singing along and like rapping along to the rap parts. I'm like, this is wild. Like I might have to start working this one in a little bit more.
That's always been a staple for me. I think it does so well in that 2000s era. I mean, the song was fucking massive, dude. It was so big for that whole time. He was a TRL, that TRL era. He was just destroying it. And that song has been a staple of whenever I do like that 2000s era, like, Promiscuous Girls and the whole hollowbacks and all that. It's always big. You didn't do the. At one point I thought you were gonna say, "Ba ding ding dong da dong ding dong." What's that Eminem one?
I know what you're talking about. God, I can't think of the name of it. Why am I drawing a blank? But yeah.
The bing bing bong. That was like when Eminem finally hit, like the drugs took over, right? Where he's like, okay, it might be time to get sober. I have a song called Bing, and
it's called the Ball Song, right?
Yeah, because the comic, the Wonder Dog, the Conan dog.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that was the thing. Was he like the guest star on it? But it was like, ba bing bing bong.
What's the dog's name?
So bad.
The little dog puppet.
It was
that's like got the cigar
comic,
in its mouth.
The Wonder Dog. It was something Conan.
uh, it became like a thing. But
Yeah, it was
yeah,
something Triumph. Triumph the
Triumph.
Triumph,
Yes.
yeah. And he had that he was at least in the video or something, but I remember that song just being going, "What the fuck is this?" You know? Like
Yeah.
even that his next big single on Encore was Just Lose It.
Oh no,
And
it was
even that
ass like that, right? That I
ass like that.
the way you
I'm like,
shake it. I never
oh,
met ba-dung dong dong. Yeah. Yeah,
so
that's it.
bad, bro. But Without Me is not that song. High
No.
five to that, and it's actually good. So play
He
that.
always put out like one shock and awe factor song though that would just be like so off the wall when he would drop an album that the rest of the album would be like one thing and then he would have one just outrageous song that would lead the would be the leading single off the album, which is crazy because the rest of the album's like so serious and good and then that song's like just the cheesy one.
Well, I did his an edit for Shake That with Nate.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
did a super short edit of that, which
I think
I
that's the
think
one I play.
because it goes kind of plays a little too long. It's hard to mix in and out of it, but
Yeah.
that's always been a great opener track for me. Like a lot of
That's
people like
same.
that.
I would play that
So
early in the night. Yeah.
that's another
Uh,
Eminem if you guys are looking for one.
I
But he's
played. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna compliment you. I'm saying he is somebody that we should be playing. He was so big in that era, and I think the kids, definitely relate to him. So if you're not
Yeah.
playing Eminem, don't play the Bing Bing Bong, but play Without Me.
Yeah. Without me
Or
at
Lose
work,
Yourself. Lose Yourself
lose yourself's
was
great. Work crushes. It's a great
every
one.
night I play that as one of my biggest songs by far.
I
You play the
played.
Real Slim Shady? Used to be big.
I don't really play that one.
That one used to really do well for me. But
Yeah.
I
I
think
just
to recap, it's Without You, Lose Yourself, and
shake
uh,
that.
Shake That,
Yeah. I think
and
those are
not
the
Bing Bing
three.
Bong.
Forgot About Dre is good still. Like if you're like in like a good hip hop club, I think that one works still. But like I think it's got to be the right crowd and the right time to drop that one particularly. But every once in a while, that's a notable mention for me.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I also played "You're a Jerk," which I haven't really played much, but I know it kind of got big on TikTok there for a minute, and I played it and it worked. And I got away from playing some of these songs just because I thought they were a little cheesy. But like I've always talked about on here, like my Friday spot, kind of like the cheese stuff works there, so I need to like kind of be a little more okay with playing that stuff there. I played
Well,
Teach Me How to
that
Dougie right after You're a Jerk too, and it like went off. I just have like a little edit that like I can just scratch and drop, and it
do
was
you
like,
still
boom.
play Don't Drop That Thump Thump?
Yeah, I play that, but I play it with all that like snappy, like Travis Porter, Bring It Back,
Well,
Soldier Boy,
it works with
Donk.
You're a Jerk if you were to do
Yeah.
Jerk. Um, those are all the groups that used to come by to Heat when I
Uh,
was like the early tens. We would
yeah.
have all those groups coming through, and so I still played Jerk, and it's a dance to it, right? I know Cat Daddy kind of fell off, but that was kind of like that same era, like
Yeah.
Cat Daddy, Dougie, Jerk, duh, 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 that one.
Don't drop that dun dun dun. 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 I think that's how it goes. I
Yeah,
basically made that song. I sang it, performed by me. So,
uh,
but yeah, that was kind of my night that night, and it was good. It was a good night. Yeah, and then I had the wedding the next day, and that was in Columbus. So that's a bit of a drive from here. It's 2 hours. It was at the Ohio State House, and the load in there was rough. And I'll get to that in a second. But the Ohio State House is where the governor works out of, and it's a government building and all that. So they're very strict on who comes and goes in there, too. So the load in was you load in under the loading dock underneath the building. You have to put yourself off on this lift it up to the loading dock level, and you go in these doors and down the hall into an elevator. up one floor, out that elevator, down the hall, to the right into another elevator. And then you go up that elevator and then down the hall into the main room, uh, and set up. So, yeah, that was the load in, and boy, that was a rough in and out. But thankfully, I had a little help loading in, and made things a little easier. Loading out, I had to load out by myself, and but I just kind of pack up and do it fast and get out of there. But the wedding was, I want to say, first off, the wedding was very beautiful, very nice place to have a wedding. Very cool, right in the heart of downtown Columbus.
Is the
Re-
ceremony was held there too?
no,
Reception?
the ceremony was not held there. It was just cocktail hour and reception. So they were down the street at a church. I think they said the church was like a mile away. I was just doing cocktail hour and reception, and this
Which
is
for
where
that
kind of thing.
setup is nice. For
Oh
that
man.
setup, it's nice because I can't imagine doing another setup with a ceremony. That would have been dreadful. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, yeah. Yeah, it was just a lot to load in there, and I had a pretty, like, basic setup that night. I didn't have anything overly crazy, so, you know, the elevators are kinda smaller too because it's an older building, so, you kinda had to make a couple trips, with stuff on carts, but yeah, so, I was just through cocktail hour, I was getting the bridal party lined up, and, there's this giant staircase that leads into the room, and just as I'm getting everybody lined up to do introductions into the ceremony, a guest like fell down, passed out, and started, like, I don't know, like convulsing, like, on the ground. And I've never seen anything like that happen at an event before. And then, sure enough, um, a couple minutes later, another guest, same thing, stands up. So two guys went down. Luckily, because it was a government building, there were police on site, and the police had to go get, like, the defibrillator and put it on these guys, and um, you know,
were they
bring them back, I
were they
guess.
related or were they?
They were family to I think the bride's side of the group,
It's crazy
but
that like both of them had the same issue. So I wonder if it was like a lighting thing, or I wonder. Just interesting all
yeah, I
together.
don't wanna say, I wouldn't wanna make any judgment, on what, but yeah, I mean, very interesting, but, what sucks is I felt bad for, the bride and groom because it's like everything just kinda lulled, but, obviously you care about people and wanna make sure people are safe and everything, but with that kinda happening, the cops acted quick, and finally, EMS came, and, by the time they got kinda everything situated and these guys on the stretchers and kinda got them out of there, it was almost like an hour later, so the whole, reception was delayed by about an hour, and I'm thinking to myself while it's all going on, not to be selfish, but I'm like, "Fuck, my job just got way harder for tonight, like, what am I
That's
gonna
what they've been.
do?"
That's what you need to be a professional for, and that's why you hire a professional because you told me what you did, and I mean, I don't even know that. Just, I mean, listening to you, obviously, I was like, I wouldn't have known what to do, but I guess just on your toes, I think you did the best thing you possibly could have, and it was great.
Yeah, so, they had, one of the uncles on the groom's side is a preacher, and, he was gonna do a blessing before dinner anyway, so I went and found him, and, we were kinda like, "Hey, um, would you mind just kind of like maybe saying something and kind of maybe easing the room up?" And so he did. He spoke for maybe like 5 minutes. And I'm not a religious person at all, but I thought it was like maybe the best thing to kind of ease the tension a little bit in the room. And so he kind of spoke, and then I kind of turned like the background music kind of back on, and then made sure everybody was kind of in line for introductions, and then we did introductions and kind of carried the night on as best we could. I mean, they were an hour late, which sucks because it just ends up cutting into their party time. Is everybody's still gonna eat, everybody they're still gonna do first dances, and whatever formalities they had planned, they want to do all that. And what was kind of crazy is, so we were about an hour behind, and what sucked even more was, the catering company brought out salads, and then for about 35 minutes they didn't bring out anything. So the catering company was still kind of behind, and that just made everything take a little longer too. And they had quite a few formalities that they wanted to do. Um, but I was trying to
Was
like
it
keep every
steaks or shrimp cocktail? Like,
steaks. Yeah, yeah. So they had steak and chicken and something else. The food looked really good. I will say that. It did
I
look
think
really good.
the steaks always kind of slow it down. And was it like outside catering? Because for that kind of building, I would think you would have to.
It
I
was
mean,
outside catering.
yeah. So the load in that you did. So they're bringing everything in unless they could use
They had
their
to do it too. They had to
yeah.
bring everything in that loaded.
So
Yeah,
unless
yeah.
you're doing that kitchen, you can't do that. And I feel like without like a really good coordinator, there's no way to prep a client for that, or just tell them, hey, get these things to
Yeah.
run on time. Or I've done
And
a building like that where it was like chaos and it just went an hour and a half behind, especially with a big wedding.
and there kind of was chaos, honestly, for the night, because there's just nothing you can do but try to, without being a dick, try to like, I don't want to say I was like hurrying the bride and groom, but I would be like, "Hey guys, like, I just want to make sure you guys get to maximize your party time tonight that you wanted. So I just want to try to help keep things on schedule. And if I'm being too much, tell me to back off. But like, I know you guys want to party." And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, we want to party." So
So
I was
then you
trying to move
said,
them.
bring out the to-go boxes for everybody.
Yeah. Well, what's weird is, so like as soon as they got their food, I was like, all right, kind of change of plans. Like, you're gonna go, like, if you guys are cool with this, let's go cut the cake now. People can still be eating while you cut the cake, and that's like fine. You guys are already done. And
So
then
is
we'll
there a
just start.
coordinator, or you're just gonna start? You just were like took
There
everything on your
there
shoulders.
was a coordinator, but I kind of just had to like take it and go, because they were kind of like hemming and hawing about what they wanted to do. And the photographers were just wanting to eat food and grumpy.
We need to have
And
another photographer back on here because I feel like photographers, we love you, but why are you just so sad? They're just sad,
well,
right?
my thing with the whole situation with the photographers with that night, I'm like, yo, like, two people just almost died at their wedding, and like, you can't even just like chalk this one up for like, yeah, I'm gonna be here a little later, and like it,
They're like, my contract and I need to eat. And you're like,
yeah,
bro,
dude.
I just powered a granola bar. I'm lucky that I'm still standing. Like, let's fucking do this,
I didn't eat shit. It's like,
There's
like, but
always the photographer that, they're either counting it down. It's like, I don't know, maybe they need to change their contract or they need to do something if
I
they're not.
just, it's like, it's so, the problem I have with a lot of wedding stuff is it just becomes so contractual for certain people. It's like, I don't care. It's really kind of about me and my business. And it's like, you forget that, like, this is like the one day for them, and in theory, everybody's, only supposed to have one wedding. Some of us, might have more, and that's okay, but, I just don't like that. That honestly is the kind of the part that turns me off from weddings the most, is when people are just so like contractual about stuff. And like, it's hard. I'm too nice of a guy, so it's hard for me to balance that sometimes. And I wish that I could be more like that. But yeah, I mean, so I was just like, okay, we're gonna cut the cake, and we're gonna go into dances, because by the time we get this done, if we even get it done in the time that I think we can, we're gonna have an hour and a half left to actually party. And the
Which is still
photographer,
still decent,
it
but
was decent, but
that's decent. That's not
yeah.
terrible. I've had worse, but yeah, no, I agree with you, and it drives me nuts that the photographer just I
And
I can't figure
I
him out.
yeah, and it's just, I get it. You're tired and cranky, and you've been with them all day, and with a couple all day, and but that's still, at the end of the day, it's like you're there for them, and like, let's try to make the best of this situation of what just happened. And you know, I just think that sometimes you have to adapt in these situations,
Every
and
time you
that
need to adapt. That's what a wedding is. And so, you can tell somebody's experience. I don't know them. I don't know anything about them, but just from doing this, as long as I've been doing this, you can tell someone's experience where you got to hold their hand and be like, listen, we're doing this, or this wedding's fucked. Pull your head
yeah.
out of your ass and let's go. You know?
Yeah, and honestly, I was telling them too. I was like, the other thing that I was saying to the bride and groom, I'm like, nobody knows anything other than, you know, like every guest here thinks things going as normal right now. Nobody
Yeah.
knows that you're behind, like, and this and that, and like it's not even like a big deal. But once the formalities were over and we got to the party time, they had like a pretty lengthy like song request list. I just ripped through like all their songs, and a lot of them were stuff that I would play anyway, you know. So I just kind of ripped through the stuff, and I didn't play everything that was on
Play
that
that
list because some
play that funky music, Love
no,
Shack,
it was a little more hip hop oriented, which was great.
Shania Twain.
I didn't even play that. I didn't get to feel like a
Wow.
woman. But you know, what was tricky is, I they wanted to do a private last dance, and the venue was very
Oh
strict
wait,
on
I'm sorry. I want to jump. Other big songs. What are the big songs? I was cracking jokes, but what are
other big songs from that
big
night.
songs that maybe some of they requested that you didn't know? Just throwing it out there.
Um, I wouldn't say they were like a big songs. Some of their must plays were like stuff where I'm like, "Ooh, this might be like a little hard." Like, there was a couple. They had like 5 songs that were like must play these. They're significant to us. One was like Loud Luxury Body.
That's actually
It's a
become
good song.
it's become a staple at most of my weddings.
But what I will say is, for the crowd that was at this wedding, besides like the younger people, I don't think the older people were quite getting it. So I just, in those situations, I just kind of make sure I get on the mic and be like, this is one of the bride and groom's must play songs. It's very significant to them. So let's make sure we make some noise and keep it hype for the bride and groom. Like say something that kind of like lets people know that like this is something that means something to them, And I think that really kind of helps in those kinds of situations when you kind of address the crowd to just say, hey, it's not me just picking this song that I don't think, you know what I mean? Like it
Well,
kind of just,
I do it not just in that way, which I think you did in a great way, but I also do it. I do it when Aunt Nancy comes up and she's like, what would be great right now? You're like, anything you say is probably gonna be like the best. So tell me, hurry up. Summer Wind by Frank Sinatra. And you're going, who are you? Are you in the same room as I am? So if she won't leave me the fuck alone, I just get on the mic and I'm like, dude, Aunt Nancy is dropping bombs on everyone right now, and Summer Wind is about to crush the game. So, get on the dance floor.
yeah.
But you
Omni,
gotta call them out.
the Omi cheerleader was one of their must plays.
Really?
So I just kind of played cheerleader and body back to back right at the beginning, just to kind of get them out of the way. 'Cause once I got the dance floor started, I didn't want to play some of these songs that I didn't think were, like not gonna work. Um, yeah, I mean, really, like they had a great like playlist. It was like, God's Plan, All I Do Is Win, Broccoli, GDFR by Florida, Say Ah, In the Club, Wild Thoughts, Rude Boy, Crazy in Love, Don't Tell 'Em, like just all stuff that I would play anyway. So I'm you know what song they did have, and I play it sometimes in the bars that it would be a good mention is Wiz Khalifa and Snoop and Bruno Mars, Young, Wild, and Free. I play the hook, and most
Really?
of the times I just play a double hook. Yeah. Yep, that one. The people sing along to it.
And it did well.
Yeah,
We need
yeah,
like
yeah,
we need like a blend or something that doesn't have such a shitty beat.
yeah. I agree. Something like that would be great.
Something with just like because the sing along, I totally agree, it would be great, but it's just the it's The beat's just so mellow, dude.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm just looking at how many songs I played. I think I still managed to play about 70 songs in that hour and a half, which is, I'm not going to say that's like crazy, but I think that's quite a bit still. So I hit a lot of stuff for them. And they initially wanted, a private last dance, but the venue coordinator was like, hey, like, first off, she like didn't know anything in terms of like what was actually happening. There was some kind of miscommunication with the wedding planner and the event coordinator or the venue coordinator. But I was like, hey, there's when I first got done setting up and kind of everything, everybody was like good to go and it was cocktail hour. I'm like, hey, they're doing a private last dance tonight. How would you like me to kind of handle this? Do you want me to clear the room early? Like, she was like, oh yes, everything has to be done by 11. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, have people done these here before? Have you done this here before? Just kind of trying to be nice and feel her out a little bit. And she was like, yeah, we usually kick everybody out at 10:45. So kind of once I got the dance floor going, I went up to the bride and groom and I was like, hey, look, like if you guys are still wanting to do that private last dance, venue told me like we still have to be done at 11. So if you want, what we'll just do is we'll just do your last dance and I'll kind of just ask everybody to like circle around you and just you guys can do like your own dance together as your last dance. And they were like, yeah, let's just do that. So that's kind of
It's
what we did. And
a great
that
tip
was a great,
because I like that a lot.
yeah. And honestly, I just kind of said too on the mic, I'm like, I was like bride and groom initially wanted to do their private last dance tonight, but instead of doing that, they chose to take the time to party more with you guys. Now, if you guys could, for their last dance, circle around the bride and groom and they're going to dance their last song together. Like, something like that. And it was great. Like it was like a good vibe to kind of like send it out on too, so,
Were the
but
photographers still trying to get their food at this point, or
uh,
what a dick?
oh man, they were, they had their bags all in front of my shit and they're fucking back there crunching food. No,
They're just sad and had bags everywhere. Like, where's my
nah,
food?
it was cool. I mean, overall, for kind of there being so many fires of that, in that wedding, like it was fine. And if you were a guest there, obviously you knew about the first thing that happened. So I don't think anybody was mad. And I think everybody had a good time and they were having an after party too. So like I think that, that sometimes I think people go for too much party time. And it's like you don't even go party that long at a bar. Like you get there at 11 and maybe you stay all night. Like, you know what I
Especially
mean?
free
Like,
drinks, right?
yeah. So it's like, that would be my tip to like guests. It's like, just if you have a good planner and you have a good everything, just keep like 2 hours of party time and go to the after party. Like, just stop trying to force these 4-hour dance sets. Like, nobody wants to do that.
It it depends, though. I have seen them when they're younger. They do want to dance because that wedding that I just did, they had a 2-hour dance set before me, and then the after party dance set was an hour and a half. Then they actually went to the bar across the street, and I think it worked for that because they had all the out of town people, right?
Totally. And the band separates it from the DJ. It's not like just a DJ for 3.5 hours, where you're like, God damn, I can't Cotton Eye Joe any longer. Gosh, like my
He
chicken
keeps
dance ain't chickening.
keeps playing the funky music from the white people.
Yeah. I've played that funky music. This guy been funkying it up for hours. And, but, it's just hard. And, it's like, I don't know. It was a great wedding though, in terms, and then I had that dreaded loadout, but
It sounded like you crushed it, and
yeah.
I think you handled a lot of those fires awesomely. That's action packed wedding, and those are the ones you remember, And I think that was
Yeah.
kind of cool. I think that's definitely put some stripes on you for moving forward.
Yeah. So, and then you did another wedding that weekend, right?
Yeah, Saturday. Then I had one more wedding, and it's a huge load in there at this. It's golf course, and I feel like anytime I hear country club come up on a an inquiry, I think, oh great, let me make sure I price this one right because it was 4 full setups. Well, it was a full ceremony setup and a small cocktail, a full dinner setup, and a full dance. So three and a half. And called out an assistant, the homie that listens, DJ B Well. He came out, did a little helped me load in and load out. It was a little bit older crowd, older couple. I think they had already had kids, and I think it was like a second marriage. But man, everyone danced. It was just a weird dynamics with a little bit older couples than like the night before was a younger couple or yours where it's a younger couple. I think people play into it, and I don't mean like old like ancient. I mean like like 40 something.
Yeah, like
So
our
not
age.
I'm old. What do you want from me?
It's funny. Sometimes I don't consider myself old, so I'll be like, "Yeah, that old people music," and it's like, "What do people my age want to hear?" Because I'm so used to playing like for younger people. It's
Well,
funny.
so they had this is why I say that though, is because they had their group, which was like 90s and early 2000s hip hop.
Yeah.
It's great. But then they had kids, and the kids want to hear that, do you jiggle jiggle, jiggle jiggle. And I'm crushing the even older couples, the 50s and 60s people who actually
Yeah.
want to hear the play the funky musics and the
Yeah.
I'm doing disco because disco's working now. Disco's back to being okay again, and I'm doing it, and it was kind of melding for everybody. Um, and then the kids, fucking kids, man, the kids keep coming up and they're like, play that jiggle jiggle song. It's like, oh, they want to do the one dance for it's like a half a chorus. It's not even like a
Yeah.
full a full deal, and then they're over it. And of course, everyone else is staring at them like I'm crazy. Um, so they wanted all these crappy TikTok songs that you know. What was the other one? That Jason Derulo song that was massive for a while.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shockingly, that one did well. Because
Yeah.
I begrudgingly played that one as well. Let's see
Something
here. That
love. Jason
uh
Derulo, love. Right.
here I got my setup.
Selfish love or something. So, oh
Yeah, so
man.
selfish love or something. And and the kids won't dance to like
Savage love.
Savage Love. So the kids won't dance to like some of the really popular stuff that the old people know, like the Give Me Everything Tonights and the Icona Pops and Dynamites. The kids are like, it's too young. So it was a little bit of a struggle. That being said, it worked. Like the adults finally went. They were just having fun, and they were got down to all the whatnots. The like they really went into hip hop and then whatever the kids wanted. So it was a great night. That Savage Love again, shockingly, was the song that did pretty good. Let me look back here. Despacito with the comeback did well.
I've gotten a couple requests for that lately.
Dude, it crushed. Oh, the kids wanted Macarena, and
Mm.
that's usually a flat no, but I was like, whatever the kids want.
But if they were
Only
requested Mambo #5, you'd have done that shit up.
I wasn't even mad at Macarena. It was just it was some of those older people just think it's cheesy, right?
Yeah.
It's you're walking the
Well, it
line.
is. I
But if
mean,
the
it
kids
is.
dance, then they were fine with it. So
Yeah.
Rihanna, only girl in the world, Hook Only was big for the whole weekend. Um just early 2000s. Let Me Blow Your Mind, Tipsy, Empire State of Mind,
You know what else I've been
Ron and
getting weird
Nelly.
requests for is Celine Dion. Like, I'll get these young girls that are like, "Play Celine Dion," and I'm like, "What? Like, what am I even gonna play by Celine Dion?" So if somebody out there is listening and they have the Celine Dion banger that works, I kind of want to know.
So I think we need a new segment where we just ask my daughter what's the cool song on TikTok, because I opened up TikTok and she's sitting next to me, and we'll get into the rest of these weekends, but she's sitting next to me and on comes on, clap your hands, do clap your hands, clap your hands. You know that the old disco song?
I can't think of your lovely singing skills are great, but it's not really doing it for me in terms of you know
Clap your hands, clap your hands. Everybody dance. It's a chic. Everybody
chic.
dance. Yeah,
Everybody
chic.
dance. I know what you're talking about now.
So, dude, she like every word and is doing this whole dance to it. I'm going, okay, I need to know these disco songs to bring them back, because if that's crossing over, this is great. So I think she called out Pass the Dutchie the other week. She's calling out Everybody Dance by Chic this week. I think we need to get my daughter's TikTok pics, because she's knowing all these deep cuts.
Yeah, I mean that's a deep cut right there. I'm cool with that though. Coming back.
Oh, I'm hyped on that. That's like a perfect into the gimme gimme
Somebody's
ABBA.
gonna play it though, and then like snap us and be like, "This shit don't work."
And as they should.
Yeah, yeah. But it is what they're like. Man, I listen to the show, and these guys say songs work, and every time I fucking play them, it clears my floor.
I was playing at an old folks' home, and they told me that the Dougie was the hip song. It broke some hips. It wasn't hip.
Oh man,
Okay, well, great weekend recap, and then we had a little time off. We needed some time off, and um,
yeah.
I took the kids somewhere. Do you want to go first?
Go for I. I didn't really do shit last week. I kind of just after that wedding and had a lot of personal life stuff going on, and I just work life stuff going on, and I just kind of needed a week, so I kind of just you know did did nothing as much as possible last week. But you went on a trip, so you can tell us
Yeah,
about
I
that.
took my daughter on a little trip, and I had a bunch of free mileage points, and she likes roller coasters. So I was like, "What's a popular roller coaster?" And we went to Tampa, and it was super fun. Went to Busch Gardens, rolled some roller coasters. They had the new Iron Gwazi, and dude, it was actually insane. It was probably one of my favorite coasters. It was supposedly one of the biggest drops. Giant twists. It was amazing. Highly
Bobby
recommend that.
Checker, come on, baby, let's do the twist. Yeah, we're up there on the roller coaster twisting.
Dude, they had DJs throughout the whole park. No one was
Really?
playing that, but they were, yeah. What did I hear? A ton of just Bruno Mars everywhere I went. But when they weren't playing Bruno
Sounds fun.
Mars, it was, um, dude, random songs like "Good Girls Go Bad."
Really? I haven't heard that one in forever.
Yeah. Another song from like a band like that where it's just going,
Like a
really?
one-hit wonder.
It felt very how do you say, manufactured.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can see
Here's
that.
your playlist. Play it in its entirety this
Yeah.
way. It's
Here's
like
your
very,
computer, and here's the playlists.
yeah, yeah. That's how it sounded, because it was like some of these songs are questionable.
Yeah.
But dude, dope ass park. It's like a zoo inside of a amusement park. So we went on a bunch of rides. They had some good good shows and whatnot. So we did that. We're down there. One of the nights, me being not paying attention, we went to the Lightning. Is their hockey team. They
Tampa
were
Bay Lightning, yes.
yeah. So they're this is how much of an idiot I am. I'm not paying attention. I'm like, oh, we're in downtown. Everyone's wearing Bolts jerseys downtown. I'm like, okay, the team's called the Lightning. I can't even look it up, right? I'm like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, the Bolts are playing, and nothing would come up because it's just go Bolts across the whole city, right?
Yeah.
And so I finally figure out, oh, the team's called the Lightning. So, um, I I go on. I go, "Oh, let's go. It's Stanley Cup's playoff. That's huge, right? That's like once in a lifetime. So I'm like, let's go to the game. I look up if there's last minute tickets. $10. Ticketmaster re-released some handicap seat ones. I'm like, well, fuck it. It is what it is. They're selling them to me. I'm going. Well, I don't pay attention to the fact that this is a viewing party. So there's no team. There's no team
Game's
playing.
away, by the way.
The game is in Denver. But I'm just like, so we're showing up. Like we're going to the game. I had no idea. I swear. No idea because I didn't read it correctly. And I already thought $10 for these tickets were incredible for Stanley Cup playoffs. Everybody in full outfit, full, team gear, long ass line to get in. We get inside, the stadium sold out. Sold out. Young people going crazy, screaming. They had, the music just up, like there was a DJ there. And turns out, we just
You went
played
to
on
a
the
watch
TV.
party for the
Went-
Bolts.
Yeah, for the Bolts.
And that's cool though.
No, it was fun, and I gotta say, I feel like Cincinnati would do something dope like that, but we suck. It just was like LA's way too cool to go for an off game to just go support a team and just be part of a bunch of local fans
It's
that
just
like
because
it.
they don't have real fans out there in LA. They're all fake. They're all like influencers trying to sell their products, and like. Whereas here we've just had years and years of heartbreak. So of course that we're real fans here.
Do you
We're
see it?
haters, but we're real fans.
Do you think if the Reds were were actually winning, right? Like winning
Yeah.
at the World Series, and maybe this was like the second year because the Bolts just won the Lightning.
They've been great.
Why is all of their gear called the Bolts, right? But it's Lightning. It's like the Angels, the local
The
team,
Halo.
the Angels. Just like everything's Halos, right? Just
Yeah.
we don't call them the Angels anymore. They're the Halos. They're the Disney team. Do you think if they were like back-to-back winners, they would have like a watch party somewhere, like in the stadium?
Yeah, I mean, so like the closest thing that I could, the Super Bowl, they kind of had, apparently the problem was they couldn't get it staffed up enough here to actually do the watch party in the stadium, but they had the whole street, and they had screens that they brought in, like TV screens, like LED boards, and at every intersection within the street, which there's 3, they had TV screens there, and like it was like a party in the bars and in the streets. And then even in Cleveland in 2016 when the Cavs won, there was a watch party out there for all the games, like at the Quicken Loan Center. They call it something else now, I can't remember. But they did that there. So yeah, I think they definitely would.
Well, I thought it was unique, but again, this was game 2, so they just proceeded to get just smacked. It was 0-7. Dude, it was bad. It was so sad to just watch their hearts get ripped out. Like the team's like everyone's there.
Welcome to Cincinnati is all I would have been saying. Welcome to fucking Cincinnati to everybody. Is what that would have been my thing.
They were so sad, bro.
They've gotten so many championships down there lately. They are good. The Rays are good. But
they came
Buccaneers are good.
Game 3, they came back, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But we had a great little trip, and then that's gonna lead us into our new segment, which is TV shows we're watching.
Yeah. So we just kind of want to, talk a little more pop culture on the podcast, just to kind of relate to people a little more that maybe just don't always listen DJ wise, or just kind of maybe looking like, we are for shows to watch. I have been watching, well, I watch a lot of shows. The most recent one that I'm watching right now is the ObiWan series on Disney Plus. Yeah, it's good. I have my my problems with it, but I also like a lot of it too. I think the most recent episode, which I think was episode 5, was the most telling. It finally kind of like made some stuff make sense, because I was kind of like, they're kind of making like Darth Vader look super powerful here, and then like the next episode just not again, and like it was just really weird, like, you know. So but I really enjoy, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I enjoy, you know, anything. I don't want to necessarily spoil the show, but I've been enjoying it. I've also enjoyed, you know, the Baby Yoda and all that too.
Well, I've been watching the ObiWan as well. I've been enjoying it. It's good for a TV show. Is it great for the fact that we've been waiting as fans since what is it at this point, the
Yeah,
80s? No, it's complete shit. But it
I
has
would agree.
moments. It has
Yeah.
moments. It's just who the fuck wrote this thing? You know, I feel like have they seen the show before?
All right. Yeah. Okay.
You
Fuck
know?
it. Here, I'm gonna say what I have to say. All right.
Oh wait,
So
spoilers
spoilers.
ahead if you're not
Yeah,
listening.
spoilers ahead. So if you don't want to be spoiled, don't listen. But here's one of my biggest problems. Tatooine has been such a big
Oh
storyline
my god,
already
bro.
so
What
far.
if they just
It-
buy out Kansas and like build it all right? So where they're like,
yeah,
we're no longer spending any money. Every story is Tatooine moving forward.
yeah. So it's like, okay, the whole first episodes, the movies actually 1, 3, it's like, okay, Anakin's from Tatooine. And now Anakin, you know, is Darth Vader and he's super fucking powerful. Where are we gonna hide Luke? We're gonna hide Luke on fucking Tatooine. You know what I mean? Like how the fuck does this Spidey
Well,
sense, you
no,
know,
wait, not
force?
even that, not even that, bro. His name is Luke Skywalker. He hides it with his Owens, right? He
Yeah.
hides it with. It's the
So
same last name. I mean, at what point are you even like going? Well, let's just try and look up. Let's go in the old. Let's go in the old yellow pages and go Skywalker Tatooine. Huh? I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe. So
So
it's go ahead.
I mean, I'm with you there. Like there's just so much, and it's like uh, there's all these planets, and just I don't know. I think even with that, they could have got a little more creative in the writing it of why they chose, you know, maybe they could have, you know, hinted that he's with his uncle because, you know, the sense, like, you know, like there just needs to be some more story in that part of it, because it's just kind of like,
They have so much to work with. It's just sad because it feels like they hired somebody who has never watched the prequels, the old trilogy. They didn't watch it all, and they're like, "We're gonna do something totally new. We're gonna invent this new character that no one's heard of." It
it's
doesn't
like
even.
they went and got some guy off TikTok that like liked Star Wars, right? And he's just like, "Look, I make great 2-minute videos. Let me make you this series."
And half of it's just so bullshit. It's like he breaks in and then is just running out with his cloak. I can't. I
Dude,
can't.
yeah, and
I like it, but I have a real hard time suspending belief or disbelief,
yeah,
or what do you call it?
and this is
Or
the first time I've really felt that way with any of their shows, to where I'm like, they're
well,
kind of
Bubba
like
Fett was
insulting.
trash. Bubba Fett was just
You didn't like the
complete
Boba
trash.
Fett? There
It
was
was so bad.
moments.
The little kid, come on, the hipster kids, bro, with
Yeah,
the scooters. Stop.
yeah,
Come
okay, yeah.
on.
But what I was gonna say is like it just almost feels like they're insulting the intelligence of your average Star Wars fan, like which I feel like Star Wars fans are like in the know. So I don't know. I like it because it's Star Wars, but in terms of like,
There's a
I
handful of
don't know.
moments that are cool. There's just so much that's just complete shit. And it wraps up here. So if you're not watching it, we didn't spoil too much.
Yeah.
Finish it up. The other show that I am watching that I turned views on to is it's on Hulu, and it's about the Sex Pistols. And it's called Pistols. It's actually based off of the guitarist D- Davy Jones, or no, Jonesy.
That's
Based
that's the monkeys is Davy
Oh,
Jones,
David
right?
Jones. It was Jonesy. He has like a podcast, Jonesy's Jukebox. Anyways, it's based off his book, and I really liked it. It's kind of if you weren't aware, the Sex Pistols were a fucking boy band. In all reality, it's like they basically were like, "Hey, let's take a punk band and do that." And so I feel like they're just a an old boy band that was put together. None of
They
them
were
could play
O-Town
instruments or
before
do
O-Town.
none of them could play any instruments. And the guy that basically put them together owned a shop called Sex, and hence the name. And they just put the band together, and they kind of slowly come up, and they they break up because that old 70s English era punk was all about just the fashion punks, right? They're kind of who they
Yeah.
ended up making fun of. Everything
Yep.
about it's amazing. I really liked it. That was a great one. Are you deep in it, or are you? I finished it.
Last week I was just chilling and I started it too late in the night and I fell asleep and then I woke up and my Netflix was doing or the Hulu was like, "Are you still there?" And then I'm like, "Fuck, now I got to go back and figure out where I fell asleep." And I just haven't continued up to it yet, but I am gonna watch it. I
It's
decided
great. I've
not
been
to.
told it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I've
There
heard that as well.
and I just kind of like the era, and I like the soundtrack, and I like the fashion. I just think they did a good job on it. And that's Disney, who Johnny Rotten was basically putting down and saying how Disney shat all over it, but I think they did, at least from an outsider's that doesn't understand, a good job. Um, and then Stranger Things, we've just finished up season 4 episode of the first part, and I think for me this might be my favorite season. Loving it a lot.
I only watched the first season of that show, and I started to try to watch season 2, and I just didn't like it. I did like season 1, but I will say too, I'm not like a big super into like sci-fi stuff. I really liked the first season kind of more for the nostalgia
Well,
than
that's why I
necess-
like this one. And the memes that are going around everywhere is, hey, DJs, hey, we need some new summer bangers. I got this old 85 Kate Bush track for you, which
Yeah,
again, that's another one that my daughter like plays on repeat. And
the
thank you
Kate Bush.
TikTok. And
Yeah.
yeah, she's on repeat, bro. It's like
I'm seeing
just keeps
remixes
coming
that
on.
popping up. It's like
Yeah.
DJs are so hungry for any song right now that they can remix. I mean, fuck, look at Drake. He just put out a house album. Like it's
So I think that'll transition us here into our new segment, which let's at least play the segment video. Sean, we got Sean.
well, yeah. Here he is. He's calling in again. Here's
Yeah.
here's Sean Connery for you folks out there, all you punks.
Hello, this is Bond. James Bond. Joanne Fuse, I think it's about time we talk about music. Personally, I like to listen to grown and sexy smooth jazz with my favorite girl, Pussy Galore. Now make me a cold martini, shaken, not stirred. And break down your top music.
All right.
He's so sexy.
Sean asked us to break it down, so we're gonna break it down here.
He is
The
just
new
waiting for
Drake
the anthem.
album. New Drake album.
I
All
put it
house
on
records.
because everyone kept telling me it's complete shit. And I usually like the albums that everyone hates is usually not of Drake in particular, but just like albums that people hate for some reason. They're usually the ones that are my favorite. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna check this one out. So I put it on, and it is not good. But that being said, there was 2 songs on there that I thought were actually potential hits, and Sticky would be the first one. I like the
Okay.
drums on it, are pretty dope. He's actually kind of flowing on the whole part. So I liked that one. And then there's another one, Jimmy Cooks with 21 Savage, that I think has some potential as well. So those 2 I like. And I have family that's up in Toronto, and I've been up there where Drake is. And
Yeah.
I really feel that we went out to some of the clubs, and this was just the vibe of what is over there. Montreal, Quebec, it's very, very international. It is a melting pot of people that can't get into the U.S. To be completely honest with you, and I feel that it's become this just kind of weird metropolitan city, and I think the music is that he's putting out is is kind of speaking to that. And he what it was his statement, basically y'all are just like behind. I'm just waiting for you to catch up. So
That's a great statement. Yeah.
he's trying to talk some shit. And you know um sadly the album just doesn't sound finished, right? It's like, I
I
don't know.
I
They're
think
just
it's a
throwing shit at the
little
wall.
underproduced.
Yes.
But with that being said, it was produced by a lot of the songs were produced by Carnage and Black Coffee. Um, and
How about the
I've
stick
never been
burgers
a big fan of Carnage at all. So, and his new Gordo, ultra uh, I'm just not really. I don't get the Carnage craze like a lot of people.
It
Black
was
Coffee, I'm cool with. I've
Rick.
enjoyed some of his production. But the other album I kind of wanted to talk about was just the new Post Malone album, and I would love to know both what people think about the Drake album and the Post Malone album. We're just kind of picking some stuff that we've listened to. We're not saying that it's best or great or whatever, but we just want to pick some stuff that we listen to. And I gotta say, even Steve really kind of made me think when he said, I don't want to be the guy that doesn't listen to new music. So I threw on that Post Malone album, and I've always kind of liked Post. Some of his songs are don't always do it for me, but um I listened to this album a couple times through, and I have a couple of different opinions about it. I think as an artist, it's a great album from start to finish. It sounds like a whole body of work, which is rare anymore. I think the features are kind of left uh, what's the way I'm wanting to word it? The features left a little more to be desired. I think they could have been a little better in terms of just those songs with those artists. I
Well, he's
think
locked up in Utah, so I wonder if he's like, you got to go spend some time in my Utah place.
so. I, I would definitely bet that has something to do with it, but I think
Drink
from a
some Post
DJ
Malone
standpoint,
rosé.
I think the album's gonna be disposable.
Yeah.
Personally, I could be wrong. The song with Doja Cat could be, could maybe it depends if it gets radio play or like what. But
It'll get
if
radio
some,
play.
but
They just dropped the video for it, and what I want to say is, um, I would agree with you. For me, it's disposable. But that being said, I think "Wrapped Around Your Finger" and "I Like You" with the Doja Cat, I actually see them as being cool cocktail hour wedding songs. Not
I
necessarily club songs, but I see them being brand new dinner cocktail hour and being pretty cool.
so yeah, and I agree. From a DJ standpoint, I think it's disposable. However, from an artist standpoint, I actually I don't. I actually think it's one of his better albums in terms of it's a whole body of work and it sounds really good. Like sonically, it sounds really good. And my favorite song on the album is the Euthanasia one. It's just a little more, but that's the kind of stuff that I tend to listen to when I do listen to music in my spare time. It's just a little more chill stuff. But um, I also think he's maturing as an artist and a person a little bit. And I think when that starts to happen with artists, you kind of lose some of that grittiness in their music, or you lose a little that fight. We talk about it all the time. It's like you lose that fight that from the coming from nothing. So you got to put all into it. I think he definitely put a lot into this because it sounds like a total body of work to me. Like if you listen from track one to the end, like it sounds great. But yeah, I kind of have mixed feelings. But as just a casual listener, I like it.
Nice.
So
I had a couple singles here to talk about, And sadly, we can't play them. Which one was that?
Beep. This is
Sorry,
a
one
test of the
second.
emergency broadcast system. We are waiting for Drew Pierce to
One
think
second.
of
I'm
what
trying to
he's
find it.
talking about. This is just a
Damn it.
test.
I'm playing it on this. Bro, I had some really good ones. There's one specifically. I'm sorry, I'll edit this.
No.
There's one specifically that I thought it made me laugh, and I don't even know why it didn't end up on my playlist because I made this playlist last night just for this. Where are you at? It's a sample of they chopped the shit out of Never Want to Give You Up.
Oh, it's I know what it is. It's Young Gravy. That's who it is.
Yep, Young Gravy.
Yeah,
Yes,
man, I really like that one.
dude,
That sample is
banger,
amazing.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, and they cut it up. Props on that one, dude, because he chopped that one. Betty, it's called Betty Get Money.
Yeah, it's on DMS too. I'm pretty sure we have it on there already.
Dude, that one, DJs, look that one up. Betty Get Money, Young Gravy, sick sample. Pretty funny, kind of, I don't know, he kind of reminds me of Lil Dicky a little bit.
Yeah,
it's
it's
funny.
definitely a comedy rapper for sure. But that track's cool. I did like that.
Then I had a couple other ones here for you. Let's see. This one's by Michelle. It's all caps. Full for you. Full the number 4 and then the letter U. And I thought that was a great little wedding dinner song for DJs. Sweet Bounce, DJ Frass. These are all new from this week. And that was kind of more of like little reggae vibes, but I liked it. Let's see. Erica Banks, Trick.
Bussin'.
It's that. Yeah, it's that. Yeah. And then there was a bunch of other ones.
Well, this is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
Well, anyways,
coming through your speakers.
That's kind of what I got. I apparently skipped over all the ones that were good music, and I just put in songs that I wanted to listen to at another time. There's a Chris Brown one, Call Me Every Day with WizKid. I don't know. Well, this is a new segment that's going to be coming and going, so don't pay too much attention to it.
Yeah, but
those are my picks for now.
Yeah, we just wanted to talk some new, fresh stuff, and like I said, if you guys have any opinions, or if you want to hear our opinion on something, if you have a new album or something, let us know. We'll do it. But I also think that
I have my last little rant. I have a little rant, and then
yeah, that's right. Let me play the rant video. So here we go.
My rant.
Shout, let it all out.
All right, hit us with that rant.
All right, here we go. DJs, we need to stop being boomers. We need to stop being old dudes, old ladies as well. And we're guilty of this too. So I think I pissed Fuse off on this one when I brought it up. This being said, it is now time to move into a new era. Instagram is now going to be more of a style of a TikTok. So quit making your videos cropped little tiny squares and posted like that.
Like this, this Drew and Fuse show video.
Like that. Yeah. Quit. Stop. Grow it out. Whatever you got to do. Put a new thing in it. I understand ours is a different thing because this is how we filmed it. But when other people are looking at this, they're going to look at it in full screen. So if you're not putting out content in full screen. Who the fuck are you putting it out for? You're putting it out for someone that's supposed to watch it on YouTube in this little tiny thing when I can't watch on Instagram. Every time I see one of them, you know what I do? I skip it. I just go right past it because that's boomer material. So DJs, quit being boomers, and that is my rant.
Yeah, but if you would be listening to that show and you would get some sick 360 cam footage, you wouldn't have to do it, So that is the other thing, And
Just
with
crop
that
it
being
correctly.
said, you can always come check out the show, listen to past episodes, and get some of the new tech from. We're pushing 37 episodes here. We're coming up on a year of doing this show, and there's lots of good
Wait,
information in the whole show.
before you go too far, I want to say the way Fuse did this last post that I'm talking about, he still did it properly. He filled up the screen with other stuff that filled the screen and still sent you to places that needed to go. It wasn't just black bars and a little tiny window of just the little tiny clip. So try and reformat it, put something else, maybe blur out the video so that it stretches. There's all kinds of different ways that you could do it that I've seen, at least makes sense, but it is now time to grow into a new era. Instagram has spoken that is how they are going to be doing it. They're not doing it no more.
Oh, real quick too, I just want to talk about this new app that everybody, the young kids around me are on. It's called Be Real. That's a new app that I'm on here. You can get it in the App Store. I got Drew on it. It's kind of cool. It alerts you once per day, and you take a post in that 2-minute time window of what you're doing. And
So
if
is
you
it
don't
random?
post,
I haven't
it is
figured that out
random.
yet.
It is random.
Okay.
And if
Alright.
you don't post, you can't see what your friends are posting. And if you're not friends with somebody, you can't see their stuff at all. So you're either friends with them or you're not. And I kind of like it. It's kind of cool because it's so simple. It's like it's cooler, simpler Instagram, like what Instagram used to be. And so real quick, if you guys
It's
are
like a
looking for something new,
Snapchat a little bit.
yeah, it's kind of like a snap. Check it out. It's called Be Real. And let us
So
know what
I
you think.
actually just posted something during the recording of this. It
Yeah.
popped up, and so I recorded. I sent a little thing on it.
I got to take mine then because I haven't posted. I'm late today because we're doing the show. So
if you're late,
smile.
it's okay, right? It has to be
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
You can't upload anything. It's all Be Real. Like basically, you can't be fake.
Yeah.
And I think it's dope.
Yeah. I
highly
think it's
recommend.
kind of cool concept. So I think that's kind of going to wrap for us today. We just kind of wanted to get on and talk with you guys and do our little solo thing and chat a little bit because we don't always get to. We're always learning about other people. But real quick, again, if you guys aren't on DMS and you want to check it out, make sure you hit that promo code Drew and Fuse Show at the checkout. It'll get you 30% off your first month. If you're in the market for a photo booth, we have a affiliate link in the comments below for the salsa booth. From the photo booth supply or the chips and guac booth. And if you buy one of those, Drew is personally going to send you a limited AF shirt. So make sure you do that. Also, we're not sponsored by Liquid Death. Make sure you tag us, tag Liquid Death if you're drinking them on social media. We'd appreciate that. And we just want to say thank you guys for tuning in and listening. And make sure you always subscribe and review the podcast and share. It really helps grow the podcast. It is really something that we don't get paid for, and the gratification of doing it is you guys.
I will say I actually had a handful of people this week text me about the show, and it means so much. You don't even understand. It's like at the end of the night when someone comes up to you and goes, "Hey, good job," or just in the middle of your set and you're dreading the fact that they're gonna ask you for a tip. They just go, "You're dope," and you're taken aback. You're like, "Oh, was that a heart attack? Wait,
You're like,
you're not gonna ask me
damn,
for
here
Bad
comes
Bunny?"
this person. Yeah, they're walking up to the booth, they're making a request, God, and they're like, hey, just good job.
Yeah, that's how it felt. It is amazing. We really truly like it. We are throwing new segments in, so if you guys want to hear any new segments or just us talk about bullshit, let us know. And yeah, we're just we're dropping this tomorrow or today or whatever it is that
Whenever.
you're listening to it.
Yeah. So again, too, like we love hearing what parts you specifically like. That kind of helps us dial in the show a little better. So if you're reaching out, tell us the parts you like. Tell us things you don't like too. We're cool with hearing that. We can take some criticism. So
YOLO line.
YOLO line 562-246 YOLO. Call in, leave us a message, leave us a little drunk dial. We had this guy DJ Command that called in about DJ Demand. I don't know, maybe there's some connection there. I don't know. But anyway, once again,
maybe
we
he's
appreciate you
what
guys.
he got Arnold to call in, DJ Commando.
Oh, that's DJ Commando. Yeah, totally. So yeah, we appreciate you guys and appreciate all the feedback. And again,
we
we
just shout out Lloyd for this really dope Long Beach LA flip hat that
I know
he sent
I'm jealous
me.
of that one.
Yeah, shout out to Lloyd for that. That's all I got.
That's all. That's it. That's gonna be it for today. So until next time, see you guys.